The indie author revolution has been around for more than a decade, but we indies continue to push the boundaries of what we're capable of. From getting over initial prejudices to staring down perfectionism and author imposter syndrome, we've become a force to reckon with. Indie authors now wear more hats than ever as we strive to create a career full of meaning, prosperity, and potential. We've juggled the demands and continue to be rebels in the face of adversity. Now, after years of hearing the shouts of hustle and grind, we indies are rebelling again. Gone are the days of publishing a book a month until we drop, and in its place are the seeds of a better way to rapid release. A way that feels incredible as we build a sustainable, lifelong author career that not only increases our visibility and royalties, but it's all done with intention and ease. If you're ready to buck the system and become the visionary authorpreneur I know you're meant to be, you've come to the right place. I'm Carissa Andrews, international best-selling indie author, and this is the Author Revolution podcast. Well, hey there, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Author Revolution podcast. Whew! So, here we are. We're less than a week away from me and my husband hopping on an airplane with our friend Kim and going to 20Books Vegas. Okay, we're doing this thing. It's happening. It's actually coming to fruition. It's almost here, and I'm kind of freaking out. I'm not even gonna lie. So I haven't been to a writer's conference in person since about 2011. And at that time, I was a brand new author. I was working on Pendamus, and I was literally the only science fiction author at Moonlight and Magnolias in Georgia that year. And for those of you who don't know, M&M is actually a romance authors conference. But I have to admit, it was super fun. They welcomed me with open arms, and it was actually kind of an interesting experience being someone who was kind of there just for the content of the breakout sessions and not so much there to pitch. I think at that point, I was pretty much leaning towards being an indie author, but if something happened, then great. And so I took some of the sessions just trying to learn more information, and I met so many amazing people that it was just such an incredible experience. I would totally do it again. Now, though, I've done so many different author conferences, mostly online, because obviously I live in a, rural area. Getting out was not an option a super ton during the beginning of my author career because we just didn't have the funds for it. I had a new divorce, I had a new husband, I had a new kid then, and it was like all these things were happening kind of right in that middle section of my author career. So this is the first big conference that I'm finally investing in, finally getting myself up and running to. And I'm a little freaked out because I know how big 20Books Vegas is. Craig Martell is constantly posting about the size of this event. And we have this special little app thing that you can go through and pick all of your breakout sessions that you're going to go through each day. It makes it super easy. So the Virgo in me really approves of this. I kind of have some mad respect for Craig and all of the organizing he and his volunteers and his team have been doing because this thing is looking like it's going to shape up to be pretty epic. Now, all that being said, it is something that is pushing me out of my comfort zone a little bit. It's making me go do something that I haven't done for a while. I've done conferences here in my local area. I've even run them before. But it feels different. It feels bigger. It feels like, okay, I'm doing this thing and I'm going to meet some of these people who I've had on the podcast, who I have talked to, and we've discussed indie authorship stuff, but now we're going to see each other in person and it's going to be awesome and it's going to be weird. And I'm so stoked for it. But then the other side of me is what in the hell is happening? Do you ever feel like that? Well, if you do, I wanted you to know that that's totally normal. That all of these feelings of anxiety, of what's going to happen, of can I handle this? Am I going to, be able to get to places on time? What if I can't figure things out? These are all normal things. So as I sit here and I think about, okay, we're only a few days out from having to hop on a plane, which I haven't done since 2012. Holy cow. this is kind of like new territory again. It's doing some cool new things. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about like when you have big events like this that are coming up, whether they are your own author signing events, whether it is a big author conference where you're stepping outside of yourself and you're talking with people who are either in a place of like mutual standing with you, or people who are already higher than you, or you're here to learn something from them, or you just want to enjoy their presence, or any of those things. I want you to know that you are not alone when things are going to feel a little bit weird, intense in the beginning. So here's what I do, or here's what I've been doing this past week as I'm prepping for going on this trip, right? So as a manifestation person, I think a lot about what this is going to look like once I'm there. Like, everything's going to go smoothly. Of course it's going to go smoothly, because that's how I am setting my intention right now for the arrival, for everything that's happening. It doesn't help when your child, who is 7, all of a sudden goes, "Kid you not, this was at the dinner table last night. Do you know what the best way to survive a plane crash is?" Both my husband and I looked at him and were like, this is not a good conversation to be having right now. He's like, "When it gets really close to the ground, that's when you jump." Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Okay, so when things like that happen and you're manifesting ease and you're manifesting safety and you're manifesting like, this is going to be good, and your kid does something like that, your first instinct is to go, is that a sign? Oh shit. Is that a sign? I hope it's not a sign. But it's not a sign. It is just your vibrational escrow reminding you of things that you maybe have fears about. And so he's just voicing something because he's picking up on it. You can choose to roll with it, or you could choose to let it go. And I have chosen to share it with you, obviously, but then let it go because this happens. This is real life, right? So I think about what it is it's going to look like when we're there, what it's going to look like when we get all settled in, set up, we're good to go. We are actually attending a special pre-conference like dinner situation with Mal and Jill Cooper. And so that's going to be super fun. And so I'm visualizing what that's going to look like and how that's going to go, and the conversations hopefully that I can contribute to. So it's going to be a fun experience that I'm really looking forward to, meeting people that like I said, that I've met already, but not in person, and that I can really kind of learn more information about things that I am trying to elevate myself to, because there are a lot of breakout sessions in the 20Books Vegas conference. So for those of you who don't know just how big this conference is, there is something like 190 breakout sessions throughout the 3 days. It's incredible. Like, Craig Martell is a machine. I don't know how he does this stuff, but it's pretty awesome. So I'm really looking forward to the school that I'm going to be going to for those 3 days, right? And as I do that, I'm visualizing like, what kind of experiences do I want to encounter? Like, what kind of other authors am I hoping that I bump into? I don't really have, other than the people that I've already met and people that I've spoken to on and off through social media, I don't have like a specific list. I mean, Mal and Jill Cooper, obviously, because otherwise why would we be going to the thing on Sunday? But I'm looking forward to meeting Brian. I'm looking forward to meeting Craig. I'm looking forward to just everyone that's going to be attending this conference. It's going to be so fun. And yet here we are just on this precipice, and you can get clustered in all the things that you think you have to do or the things you have to prep for. Because if you're in this group and you are, getting ready to attend, they have a special like Facebook group where people can talk about all the different things. And there is a lot of information being flung into this Facebook group constantly about like, what if COVID, and what if masks, and like all sorts of questions that I haven't even asked myself because I am just kind of, I don't even know, shell-shocked, not really prepared. That's not really the right word. I am just kind of winging it. I want to experience this for what it is without overcomplicating it, because that's been my vibe lately. I want to just roll with it and see what happens and enjoy what happens. So we haven't booked ourselves for a whole ton of different meetups or anything like that after the conferences. We're just open to seeing what happens and rolling with it. You know what I mean? So I have 3 tips for you. 3 things that I do. And this is coming from a Virgo, guys. This is coming from someone who really enjoys planning things. Like, I was trying to figure out my packing list 2 weeks ago, and Colin looked at me like I grew horns. He's like, You don't have to plan that this far out, you know? And I'm like, what? Come on. It's an anxiety thing, right? It makes you feel better when you've like mapped it out. I will say, however, I didn't do it until yesterday, which was Monday, the 7th of November. So I would say I did pretty good, a week out-ish. So, whatever. But I want you to listen to the 3 tips that I am holding myself to for this big event. And I want you to think about it when you are next going on your own conference trip. Maybe you're going to 20Books Vegas with me. And if that's the case, here are a few things that I want you to think about or breathe into or lean into before you go. Okay? So tip number 1 is I want you to focus on fun. Like, remember, everything is working out in your favor. So if shit goes sideways and your plane is late, or if you are, trying to get into your hotel quickly and there's a long line, or if something weird happens and you're just not quite sure what the hell you're supposed to do because, oh my gosh, you got these things, just know and remind yourself, this is meant to be fun. This is an experience I am meant to enjoy. Even if things are weird, even if things are wonky, even if things are like not quite working out the way you anticipated, roll with it, because as you can enjoy the moment, as you enjoy it for the fun that it is, more fun will kind of snowball with it. Remember, like energies are attracted to like energies. Hold on to the intention of what it is you want out of this event. So for me, my intention is to network with people that I know, that I want to experience, that I want to learn from. I want to get some really great insights that are going to help me level up my own career. I want to enjoy this experience because I've never been to Vegas before. And so I just want to have fun. So focus on the fun, enjoy it for what it is, and just know that this moment will pass. This is going to go fast. And so you need to let yourself linger on all the moments that feel really good and are fun to you, because the more you enjoy the fun, the more fun is going to come to you and find you. All right. So tip number 2, prepare to be surprised. This one, I think a lot of us really need to hear, that things aren't always going to go the way we want. Things aren't always going to turn out super hot. Things aren't always going to be exactly as we plan. There's always going to be something that comes up that is going to surprise you. And sometimes that's going to be a good surprise, and sometimes it's not going to be a good surprise. But if you are prepared for the inevitable surprises, that something's going to be coming up, and when it does, you are going to handle it with grace and ease, you will, because that's how your intention was set. Handle it all with grace and ease, move forward, default back to that tip number 1 where you are having fun, and just laugh it off. Enjoy the moment and know that this is something that is going to be remembered for a lifetime. All right, so tip number 3, network, but chill. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I want you to network with people, but you don't have to put pressure on yourself. You don't have to put pressure on them. Seriously, when you go there and you are in the mix of 2,000 plus human beings, all in the same industry as you, it can feel overwhelming and daunting. Trust me, I know I'm in the process of trying to bring myself back in and chill out just a little bit, because that's a lot of humans. And as someone who identifies as an empath, I know about myself that if I'm interacting with those people that really light me up, I will have more energy. But if I am interacting with people who suck that energy from me, I will feel depleted and want to move away. So as I know those things about myself, I am going to focus on connecting with the people who light me up, connecting with the people whose energy I really feel called to. And that is what I want you to be thinking about doing. Now, Craig Martell talked about in one of his posts, pick 3 people that you know for sure you want to meet or touch base with or like talk to or whatever, and then let the rest go. Just focus and don't be so out there and spread apart like a shotgun, right? And I think that's really good advice, because for me, I am not even focusing on necessarily having to meet anyone. Other than, of course, like I said, Mal and Jill. I'm going to be forced to meet them because I'm going to their event. But it's going to be so fun because Jill and I have had some great conversations on Facebook already. And so, I don't know, I'm just looking forward to that. I think the dynamic between those two, and like me and Colin and Kim is going to be there as well. It's going to just be a fun time. And I have no doubt about it. But it's all about enjoying the networking. Like, you don't have to put pressure on yourself to perform. You don't have to put pressure on yourself to like make this thing be like the make or break of your career. Go there to have fun, enjoy the process, enjoy the people, because they're human beings too, right? They're human beings who are there. They want the best for you as well. That's why they're there. Like when I host a conference and when I am speaking at a conference, my only goal is to hope that my students, the people who are in the audience, are learning what they came here to learn and that they're having a good time. And that's what they're feeling too. So just know that they're there to support you. They're there to help you out. They don't want forced conversations or forced dialogues, but they do want to have authentic ones. So just be you, just be authentic, enjoy the process. Now, the interesting thing with 20Books is that they do have like, I don't know, it's like going back to high school, guys. They have like theme days. Like there's a Hawaiian day and a cosplay day, and I think it's like dress for success or something day. I think I might go in my pajamas that day. Maybe not. I don't know yet. I haven't quite planned out. I told you I had packed, but I haven't told you I have not technically planned out my outfits. So I probably should do that. But it feels like going to high school because we've got these themes. The only one I think for sure I'll be participating in is the Hawaiian one, just because we found some pretty decent Hawaiian shirts. I'm not a Hawaiian person, but we're making it work. And of course, Colin, being the bad boy vibe that he is, he had to, of course, get a black Hawaiian shirt. So it's just a nut job. Anyway, we're going to have fun. It's going to be crazy. And just know that like when you're going to these things, they want you to have a good time, that they're setting these themes to be silly. They're setting these things to get you feeling more comfortable. They're trying to accommodate the creatives in us so that we can let that creativity come out. And so network with the people who are in your genre. You know, they have all these like genre host ups. And so I think I'll probably be going to the urban fantasy one on Wednesday, which is going to be super fun. But I'm also venturing and tiptoeing into romance next year. So maybe if I find some romance authors that I really jive with, I will end up in a romance authors group too. I'm not quite sure. I want to be open and flexible enough to go where I feel called to go. So even though the inner Virgo in me loves to plan things out and to like know what the heck's going on, I've worked really hard over the years to understand that sometimes the best way to enjoy the moment is to allow the flexibility enough room to pull to you, to magnetize to you the events you really are meant for, because you can't always plan things out. Now, you pantsers are going to understand this, because oftentimes I think when you're pantsing a novel, you love that experience of like being surprised by whatever it is that's coming out, right? I know I feel that sometimes too when I'm writing, so that's why I do a hybrid model. I have enough of an outline that keeps me going, but enough room that the flexibility will bring things to me when I need it. So it's the same thing with this event. Be flexible, be open, and just allow the experience to unfold as it should, because everything, say it with me, is working out in your favor. Okay? Whew. I talk really fast when I get excited, don't I, guys? I used to feel bad about that, but I don't anymore. It's been enough years that I'm like, you know what? If you can keep up with me, you, my friend, are my tribe, right? You are my tribe. So when I come back, I will be talking all things 20Books Vegas. I will let you know what the experience was like, what things happened, what things I didn't expect, what should I have like worried about but that I didn't, you know, any of those things that come up in my mind, I will make sure to document so that when I get back, we will have a conversation about it. Now, next week, I am going to skip the podcast episode. I know I talked about it last week, but just in case you thought maybe I changed my mind, I have actually decided to ease up on myself so that I can continue writing my NaNoWriMo project. Because guess what? We are currently on day 8, and I have 8 days of complete chapters written. Yes, that's right. I'm so excited. I've gotten 8 chapters done in 8 days. It's like, what happened? Oh my gosh. So I'm going to continue writing in Ruins this afternoon rather than doing another podcast episode. And I'm going to give just a little bit of space next week so that I can attend the conference, which means I will be sharing the podcast episode next week that I had with Craig Martell, not necessarily on the podcast, but like in all the social medias and things like that. So be looking for that. It's going to be coming out. But it's all about me trusting myself and doing the same thing that I would hope for you. Like I would want you, if you're doing a big thing, I would hope that you would go, you know what? I'm going to be easy on myself and allow myself the space to get the things done I want to get done without adding more stress onto my shoulders. And I would want that for you. I would want you to go, you know what? I'm taking 1 week break. I'm not going to die. No one's going to die, right? So do that for yourself as well. I'm setting that example for a reason because I want you to know it's okay. Like when you're doing a lot of things and you're doing things that matter to you and that matter to your audience, it's still okay to take those breaks and to just enjoy life for what it is at that moment. All right. Hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast episode. It was on my mind for a while, but I knew I wanted to wait until we were getting ready to go to actual Vegas so I could give you the most hopefully insightful information about how I'm feeling about this trip and how it's going to go and how I would want you to be looking at it as well. All right. If you want to download the podcast transcript for this episode, you can head over to authorrevolution.org/157 and you can download it there. And that's about it, guys. I am leaving on a jet plane. No, I'm not singing it. So I want you to enjoy your week. Enjoy getting your words down if you're still nanoing. I will not be nanoing during our vacation, but I will definitely be continuing as soon as we get back because Ruins has to come out, right? Until next time, until we meet again, until the 23rd of November, go forth and start your author revolution.